I had told our players, Blake had told our players what the arena's like. They didn't really know, and as Jamal can attest to, it's kind of cool to play in front of all those people in that student section, and the volume and the noise that's in that arena is very motivating. So I'm really happy that basketball's back at the arena, and I'm happy I got a good team. So, questions for the kids?
Like, you are one of only two players that had played in front of a home crowd here before. How did it feel for you inside the gym tonight? You know, Coach Anthony said you kind of got to tell everybody about that ahead of time. How did it stack up? How does that feel?
Feels great, man. We missed that. We missed that a lot. Last year it wasn't the same. We had to kind of create our own energy. Tonight it was electric. I can't wait till we come back home, probably after Christmas break. Have this place rocking. So.
Blake, and you had a great night. Can you just talk about the work you put in the offseason from a strength and conditioning standpoint? I mean, you had 2 blocks tonight, which is not something I think we would have expected from Blake Lampman of a couple of years ago when he first came in. Can you just talk about the work you put in the offseason?
I stayed here with Micah Parrish, and we were down with Terry all summer, but I've been working on my hips a lot with my brother, and it's all the jumping right there. That's my blocks, but I wouldn't really call it 2 blocks. I think I got away with a couple fouls there, but yeah, I'd say Terry, our strength and conditioning program is great here. We were running and lifting all summer, and when the guys got here, it amped it up even more. So all credit to him and his staff down there.
Any more questions for Blake? All right, thanks, Blake.
Appreciate it.
Anything for Jamal?
Jamal, I just was going to add, I mean, career high in college for you, I believe, right? Like, what does that feel like your first night back in the arena with family here and all that? Like, how's that for you?
It feels good. To have my moms, my immediate family here, and to have a, career high, it feels good, man. Coach believed in me, my teammates believed in me, and I showed here tonight.
What did you guys talk about in the locker room at halftime from the player's perspective to turn that around after a not so great first half to come out and do what you guys did?
Coach said we was fouling a lot. They had 9 free throws, and that was one of the aspects, where they was getting the most points from. So we just had to stop reaching in, getting chippy, fouls, and just playing and just being disciplined, playing smart.
Jamal, on offense, you played well, 29 points. On defense, you had 17 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks as well. What is your mindset on the defensive end? Because there was times where you're going up against 2 guys on the defensive glass, but you just got up and grabbed the rebounds left and right. Your offense, obviously, the alley-oops were awesome, but defensively, what do you attribute to your defensive rebounding?
My athleticism, that's something that Coach always harped for me, that I'm great at, and I just try and utilize that on the floor. I try to use my quickness, to get around guys and just use my athleticism to either tip the ball out to my team or to grab it with 2 hands. So that's something I always prided myself on, because I always had a passion for the ball. So anytime a ball come off the rim, I'm always I'm hungry to get it. So that kind of show here tonight.
And then a quick follow-up. With the 3 steals, one was a breakaway dunk. What goes through your mindset when you're anticipating that pass and getting those steals? Because for a big man, it's pretty impressive that you're able to get those steals.
It's funny, I was just talking to my teammates. They said you were supposed to do a flashy dunk or something like that. I had so many different dunks running through my mind, but I didn't want to miss it, so I'm like, let me just go ahead and flush it with 2. But that's something, again, Coach harped on me to do. Use my athleticism, try and get steals, be long, always have my hands up to try and get those deflections, and it was one of the opportunities where I can get one. I tried and got it.
Any more questions for Jamal? Great.
Well, all we do is go play Alabama now.
Coach, if I may, as first question, defensively, I know offensively in the second half you guys played really well, but defensively, for the last 3 games, you've held opponents to 60 and under points. Your 1-3-1 zone played well last year, but this year it seems like it's at a different level. What do you attribute to your defense being not just good, but great this season?
I think we've learned how to coach it better. I give Jeff Smith a ton of credit for that. I think we're coaching it better. We also made the move of moving Jalen off the top to a wing, and he's really doing a great job. That wing's kind of fit for him. Lets him gamble, lets him get on the run when we get the ball. And then I've got three, in Trey Townsend, Micah Parrish, and Jamal Kane, I've got three elite defenders. We question ourselves sometime about maybe we should really be a man-to-man team because those three guys are so elite. But the zone is so unusual and so different. And when you go into, you play, Big 12 teams back-to-back, and you can get lucky one night, when they shoot bad or whatever. But to go in and do what we did back-to-back on the road defensively, and then to come here against Toledo, who's known as an offensive juggernaut, they had 32 in the first half. 6 though were we didn't rebound the nail area, and the ball came out and they got it, kicked it out, made 2 threes off offensive rebounds, and then they made a lot of free throws, 9 for 9. So it wasn't really against us defensively. And in the second half, we cleaned the free throw fouling up, and we cleaned the rebounding up, and they had 20-something. So to hold 3 straight teams like that, points per possession tonight were 0.81. Our most we've given up all year is 0.88, I think, at West Virginia. And so those aren't good numbers. Those are off the chart numbers, playing the teams we're playing. Those are numbers you would expect if we'd have played a Division III and a couple really bad Division I teams. We played a top 20 mid-major and 2 Power 5 teams. So you can say it's a fluke that we're not that good on defense. You can say what you want. We're out rebounding our opponents probably by about 7 a game. You can say all that's a fluke, but we're just going to keep playing what we're doing, because until somebody can attack it and beat it. We adjusted very well to what they were doing tonight, and I give Jalen Moore a ton of credit for that because he's the vocal guy on the defense playing that wing. And I think that I told him at halftime. This is a long answer. We were 2 for 17 from the 3, 1 of 4 from the free throw line. They were 9 of 9 from the free throw line, and we're down 1 point. There had been other years here when we're a running, shooting team that we'd have been down 14 or 15. Maybe we would come back and win because we had such good offensive players, but that's not a game that's the game you lose in early January and everybody's going, oh man. Well, when you're an offensive team that scores like we have been, you're gonna have your bad nights. This team, you're gonna struggle on offense on some nights, but if we can consistently play with the enthusiasm and effort and rebound the way we rebound, we got a chance every night. And when you see Trey Townsend with the strength, and Micah with the strength that they're rebounding with, I talked on my radio show last night about our strength coach. And as you talked about Blake, what they did this off-season is put them in a position to be successful.
And just one follow-up question, kind of what you're alluding to. The one stat, and you talked a lot about the first half, offensive struggles, but in the second half, and especially overall in the game, you outscored Toledo 46-26 in the paint. You have to be happy about the fact that when your three-point shooting wasn't, going well in the first half, it looks like you guys really put an emphasis of getting that ball in the paint, more driving, can't get a rebound. Townsend, what did you maybe see at halftime to make that adjustment to go in the paint and get those buckets?
We wanted to play, and this team has to play from the rim out. Our teams in the past have played from out to the rim, and this team has to play from the rim out. We got to get in and get our threes on kickouts. We had too much, we run a dribble drive offense, but that doesn't mean you just pound and dribble the ball. There was no ball movement. There was no fluidness to us in the first half. It was a bunch of guys playing at home for the first time in front of a huge crowd, just wanting to play. And I got mad at Micah and took him out, and I go, what the heck are you doing? And he goes, just playing, coach, I'm just playing. And that's what they were doing. But that's not what we wanted. And we figured it out in the second half. We got going. We needed to make a couple shots. We did. The crowd got into it. And once that crowd gets into it, we don't lose here. It's very seldom when we get big crowds and we're making plays like that we don't start flowing. And so it was great to see.
Great. Go ahead, man.
Coach, you talked pretty highly about Jamal Cain like before the season, and then tonight he has 29 points, 17 rebounds. Is like this kind of what you envisioned with him?
Yeah, I mean, he was the best player on the floor the first 2 games too. Anybody that was there, you talk to the fans of those other teams. Hey, we want number 1. Can we have number 1? You know, I mean, he's a pro. I mean, there's no question in my mind he's a pro. I've contacted everybody I know in the NBA, and I know a lot of people in the NBA. And I've contacted every one of them. There was an NBA scout here tonight, and I'm going to text him. I told you, you know, when I get out of here. The first day of practice, I made this statement. I felt that way the first day of Kendrick Nunn's practice. You just know with those guys. And that doesn't mean he's going to be runner-up rookie of the year. It just means he's that level. And there's no one in our league that's 23 years old that can do what he does. And as long as the guys around them can play like that, we have a chance to have a special team. That doesn't mean we're going to have one. That doesn't mean we're anywhere near there yet. But it's very seldom in the preseason do I chirp about a team. And I've chirped about this team, and I think you can see why through 3 games. Now, we got a long way to go. And we've got a gauntlet ahead of us. We go to Alabama, and then Vermont's over the last decade, Vermont's one of the best mid-majors in the country. And they're really good again this year. And then, you know, there's Michigan State out there, there's Bowling Green out there, there's just a lot ahead of us. And so we've got to get better, we've got to get better offensively, we've got to stay healthy. But you all saw what Jamal Cain can do.
Coming off the first 2 games, how important was it to kind of break this Toledo streak? I think it was 4 straight that they
Yeah, I didn't know that till I read the notes. Todd's done a very, very good job at the University of Toledo. Toledo's got all the things facility-wise that we aspire to get here. They got a great arena. They've got 8,000 seats. They've got a strong fan base. They've got a beautiful practice facility. They've got all the recruiting advantages, and Todd's done a hell of a job there. They've won a lot of games. They won the MAC last year. They've been a very good mid-major 3-4 years in a row. I felt this, and I told my team there's 3 games that I'm going to measure you on this preseason. Toledo, Bowling Green, and Vermont. Toledo at home, Bowling Green on the road, and Vermont on a neutral floor. There's 3 very good mid-majors, and let's see how we stack up against them. No, the rest of them are for you. Michigan State game's for you. Those games are for you. Go have fun and see what you can do. But those are the 3 that I'm going to measure us on. So I'm pretty excited right now because that was a resounding win.
My last question is, Trey Thompson ever going to get a break from the
No.
floor? Never.
No,
Just checking.
no, he doesn't need one. He's young. Anything else?
Thanks for your time, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Okay.